Today in our 2019 Jeep Cherokee, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT Class 3 Custom Fit Trailer Hitch Receiver. So here's what our hitch is going to look like once we have it installed. The cross tubes is going to be visible and it's going to sit right below our bumper. Now the big advantage to this hitch where it sits below our bumper is the fact that we're not going to have to modify or cut it all on the bottom of our Jeep. It is a Class 3 hitch, which means it's going to give us that 2" by 2" receiver tube opening, so we'll have a really wide variety of options when it comes to accessories we can mount up. Now the way we're going to mount any of those accessories is the hitch pin hole here on the side, and it is going to accept a standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now these are not included in the kit, but you can pick them up here at etrailer.com along with some locking devices to keep your accessories secure. Our safety chain connection points are going to be a plate style welded to the bottom of the receiver tube, and you can see even with some smaller hooks we'll have plenty of room to get them on or off. And the fact that they're set back just slightly from that hitch pin hole means that there's less of a chance of our hooks interfering with our locking device or the pin and clip. Now as far as weight capacity goes, our hitch is going to have a 750-pound tongue weight, which is the maximum downward force to the receiver tube, along with a 5,000-pound gross trailer weight rating. That's how much our hitch can pull, including the trailer and everything we have loaded on it. Now it is designed to work with weight distribution systems as well, and that's going to be a separate component that's mounted on your trailer. The tongue weight's going to stay the same at 750 pounds, but it is going to jump our maximum gross trailer weight rating up to 6,000 pounds. But with all those numbers in mind, you want to double check your Jeep's owner's manual because you don't want to exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. I'd like to give you a few measurements, and that's going to help you whenever you're looking for accessories for your new hitch. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper is going to be right about 5.5 inches. Now that measurement's going to come in handy when you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have enough clearance and that they're not going to come in contact with the rear bumper. From the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening, it's going to be right about 12.25 inches. That measurement's going to help you when you're looking for a ball mount, so you can make sure you find the appropriate rise or drop to match up to your trailer. But also at that height, I would recommend a bike rack or a cargo carrier that has a raised shank. That way we get a little bit more ground clearance. Now that we've seen what our hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's show you how to get it installed. To begin our installation, we'll come to the back of our Cherokee. We'll start on the driver's side and we're going to come underneath to where we can see the bottom of the frame rail here. Now we're going to have this wire that's going to be attached to the bottom and the side of our frame. We're going to need to remove that. We don't have to remove the wire itself, but we need to remove those clips so it's not attached anymore. So you can take a trim panel tool or a flathead screwdriver. We're going to pop those clips out. The one on the bottom, as well as the two on the side of the frame on the outside and inside. That way we have plenty of room and the wire's not going to be in the way. So for now we'll just kind of push it to the outside so we'll have full access to the bottom of the frame as well as the side. On the bottom of the frame we're going to have two openings here. We'll have a large one towards the front and this oblong hole towards the back of our Jeep. Now if we look on the side of the frame, we're going to have two more holes. Our mounting locations are going to be these two on the bottom and then the one directly on the side here that lines up with it. We're going to have to get some hardware in place, so we'll start with the most rearward hole in the bottom. Take our pull wire, we're going to put a slight bend in it. We're going to feed it coiled end into the frame. We're going to push it back until we can grab it and come out this large hole. Sometimes it helps if you reach in and grab the coiled end and kind of help guide it towards there. You want to make sure you have the coiled end and the tail still sticking out. And we'll grab one of our square hole spacer blocks. We'll slide it over the coiled end and push it into the frame. Then we'll take one of our carriage bolts. We'll thread it onto the end of our wire. And we'll push that into the frame as well. And we'll pull on our pull wire so we can have the bolt drop through. Now we're going to repeat that for the hole on the side of the frame as well. Feed everything in. It take a little bit of wiggling, but we want that bolt to come out. Now for now, we're actually going to leave the pull wire attached and just push it inside the frame so we don't have to worry about it interfering when we lift up the hitch. Now the third mounting spot is going to be the large hole towards the front. It's going to be a little bit different how we get our hardware in. We'll still take our pull wire, we'll slide the block over first, then we'll thread on the carriage bolt. Then one piece at a time we'll push the bolt in, followed by the block, and then we're going to pull it back down through. Now we're going to repeat this entire process in the same locations on the other side of our frame. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch up. We're going to make sure you feed your pull wires through the corresponding holes. And with the ones on the bottom, we're going to be using the very back hole and the very front hole. We're not going to use the middle hole for the pull wires. And when you get your hitch lined up, if you actually pull the side bolts through the hitch, it'll help support it, then we can work on getting the hardware in place. So we can remove our pull wire, and each one of the carriage bolts that we have in place is going to be getting a flange nut to secure it down. So we're going to loosely put our flange nuts in place on all the carriage bolts. I'm going to come back with a 3/4 inch socket and I'm going to snug up all the flange nuts. Now you want to double check your instructions and come back and torque all your hardware down to the specified amount. And you want to make sure you repeat that for any remaining hardware you have. Now with our wire, we may not be able to get it back in the exact position, but we should be able to at least clip it back into the bottom of the frame because there is that hole at the bottom to keep it off the exhaust. That'll finish up your look at the CURT Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2019 Jeep Cherokee.